Good Monday morning to everyone, and welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John. I'm coming to you today after a weekend of pure upset in this nation with regard to the attempted assassination of a former president and the death of a person that was attending a rally and the injuries of the people that were there at the rally that suffered injuries as a result of this gunman's try. The news media has had ups and downs all weekend, especially MSNBC, and they've not let Morning Joe go on this morning, which is mind-boggling because there's a guy that has trumped up rhetoric against Donald Trump so hard and so often that I would say that he was complicit in getting people to not be happy with Donald Trump from his point of view. Joe Scarborough needs to be put off the air along with his wife Mika, that does nothing but hate and push out more and more hatefulness against the past president and other political people that he doesn't agree with. Which brings me to the fact that it was only a scant week ago that Joe Biden had a phone call with fundraisers and said that they needed to put Donald Trump in the bullseye. I guess he forgot that he mentioned that when he called for a lessening of the hateful speech coming out against other candidates. It's a tough situation we're in right now with the way things are with this upcoming election. But I think if it did anything this weekend, it made people see two sides to a one-sided story that the legacy media has been putting forth to us all for so long. We do need to unify this country. We need to stop feeding rhetoric into the minds, the soft minds of people that are mentally ill and capable of doing the things and carrying out the things that happened this past weekend. It was horrific to watch, and a lot of people lost a lot of sleep, and it's still tantamount in their minds still today. We need to tone down the rhetoric. We need to stop all of the nonsense that's being published on Twitter or X. There are some really nasty people on these platforms, and whether or not they're bots, whether or not they're mentally ill people, or whether or not they have a multitude of followers, to post the things that they posted after a shooting, and some of these are influencers. Sorry you missed. Train harder next time to hit your target. These are the things that came out on X. This is not unity. It's chaos. And I know that most of what the Democrats are doing right now, even amongst their own house, is chaotic. Last week, everything on the news cycle was, how do we get rid of Joe Biden on the Democrat side? Well, that's disappeared now, and this has taken precedence through the news cycle. And whether or not they're happy with Joe Biden, it's not the time to have a division inside their own house from what they're saying.
Is that some kind of joke?
It's not a time for more dissension on either side, whether it's Republican, Democrat, Independent. But it is time now for somebody with the power to do this, and we know that's Joe Biden, is to provide Robert Kennedy Jr. with Secret Service protection. Why it hasn't been done up till now is beyond me. But it's not good, given his family's history. And why aren't we hearing more from RFK Jr.? Because the media doesn't like him. The media does not like Donald J. Trump. So you don't hear about things, or if you do hear about it, it's a slanted view of what's real. I mean, up until yesterday, CNN was still saying he may have fallen. And we're not sure that it was an assassination attempt. Well, my God, how can you not be sure? Some idiot on a roof firing a gun at the speaker and hitting people in the audience. That certainly was an assassination attempt on somebody, sometime, somewhere. Wake up. They hate Donald Trump. Their upstairs executives do push out the orders and approve the scripts that they're telling you on the evening news, the morning news, and so on. The fact that they kept Scarborough from going on this morning should be telling to you. If anyone has whipped up rhetoric against and called for the takeout of, it's Joe Scarborough. The things that come out of him and Mika on a daily basis against Trump needed to be stopped. But did MSNBC bother to do that? No. But they woke up over the weekend, obviously. So they're going to just do, I guess, a week of this convention that's going on. And they didn't want Joe and Mika to be part of that. Gee, wonder why. And there's CNN. CNN couldn't admit for the longest period of time throughout the day when it happened of what it was. Could have been fireworks. Trump fell down. All kinds of innuendos of that sort were pushed at the public that may have been watching. So don't believe your lying eyes anymore, according to major legacy media. What you see is not what you really saw. It's what we're going to tell you that you should have seen. And this is what's wrong with state-run media, and continues to be wrong with state-run media. And it needs to be fixed. We have an FCC that is silent through most of these lies that they put out and innuendos that they put out. But you're not allowed to say 7 different words on TV. So that's the crux of what the FCC does for you, I guess. We have this platform, and we have other platforms that you can go on and actually find real people that will tell you the real truth. But also, we have a lot of people on these platforms as well with a plethora of misinformation. So you have to be careful of who you decide to pick as your media information. God bless Donald Trump for getting up and fist bumping and saying, I'm okay, let's fight on. But yet we have mainstream media that says, see, he's saying fight, fight, fight. Well, that's not what he meant. And you damn well know it, so quit. Stop trying to find something to use against Trump when he was almost killed. For God's sake, give the man a break. He's been through hell and back ever since he came down the escalator. They've been trying to get him one way or another. And if you remember back a year ago, Joe Rogan said they're going to try everything under the sun, and when that fails, they'll probably try to kill him. Well, that's happened. And you have a lot of weak-minded individuals sitting at home in their mother's basement trying to build bombs and figuring out ways that they can cause this kind of major upset in this country so their name will live on. And usually they're the kid that went through school, got picked on all their life, and felt like they were nobody. And this is what's coming out about this guy. But let me just say one more thing about that. The FBI is now in charge of the investigation, according to Joe Biden, and Homeland Security, Mayorkas. You know, between Ray and Mayorkas, you might have a half a brain. But they're looking to cover a story right now to the best of their ability to benefit one party and one party only. And we know this. We know that the FBI right now is politically corrupt. We know that Mayorkas is politically corrupt. And the proof of that pudding is right there in front of your eyes. 20 million illegal entries into this country, some with very, very bad intent.
Yeah.
There's no question that he's incapable of doing the job that he's in, and yet he's going to be involved in this investigation. And how is it that so far they have turned the fact that he has no social interaction on any platforms?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
This kid was squeaky clean as far as his social media. I find that very hard to believe, don't you? That he didn't have an Instagram account, or he didn't have a Facebook account, or I don't know the names of some of the other ones. There's several out there that these kids use. You can't convince me that a high school graduate got through school without having social media. No one's that much of a loser, or wants to be. But anyway, this investigation will take forever, and they'll come up with some way to color it differently than we saw it. There is questions about why they were pointed to this kid. Now it's come out that a police officer approached him and he pointed the gun at him before he started firing at the crowd. And the policeman backed off. What's the story with that? Was it a local policeman, a state policeman? We don't know, because the media hasn't gotten all that information out. And I guess there's a plethora of cell phone footage on these things. I watched, somebody submitted it to the news, to Fox News, and they were showing it this morning, of the guy climbing up onto the roof with the gun while they were pointing to the policeman to look at him. It's a little fishy, this whole story. But in the meantime, we almost lost a viable candidate, and we have lost a man that lost his life protecting his wife and daughter like a real hero that he was. And God bless him. And my heart and prayers go out to his family. We have some real heroes in this country, and that's who we should be talking about. Joe Biden can get to the Resolute desk and say that we need to calm things down. Well, he needs to start home with that instead of telling his potential fundraisers that they need to put Donald Trump in the bullseye. That's a call for the weak-minded to take action. Enough said. I know you all have your opinions. You probably all watched it. And we have a comment section here. I would love to hear your opinions on this. And I thank you all for tuning into the Kaiser Report. And let's hope that Monday in this new week brings us a calm convention without incident. It's reported that there's going to be protesters there, probably the abortion side of things, and God knows what they want to protest against. And I would love to know who funds these protesters, who gets them their transportation, who gets them all these T-shirts that match and say the same thing. And in light of what happened, these morons come out this morning on Fox, or I guess it was MSNBC I was watching, that interviewed them, the protesters. And, oh, well, that's not going to change anything. We're still going to protest. Well, come on. Have some respect for the country, for the man that lost his life, for the people that are still in intensive care over this, and you want to go out and protest against what? How about you have a protest against this? You, the protesters, go home, and in some cases, get a job and do something to give back or be a productive member of society, not a sign carrier. Because most of you people that are protesting don't even understand what you're protesting for. And I'll make my point. These Palestinian protesters have no idea what they're saying or talking about. And now these nutcases that are going to pile into Milwaukee to disrupt a convention because they're not getting their way. Well, I wish you all a happy Monday afternoon. I hope that you have something good to look forward to today. Stay away from the news channels because it'll make you crazy. And the more I hear of their twisted view of not only this incident, but just on a day-to-day basis, their views are, at best, not a view that we need to be hearing. God bless you all. Have a great rest of the Monday. Remember to tune into the Kaiser Report here tomorrow, Tuesday morning. We'll have more information for you, hopefully. And stay safe. Stay aware. And stay away from mainstream media. God bless you. Bye now.